And here we are about to go live again, Ann
We are
Herbster.
here.
I
Yes.
know. It has been an amazing day here at the Coach Business Guide.
We so appreciate everybody supporting us.
And here we are, Ann Herbster and Rhonda Boyle here. We are the authors of the Coach Business Guide, the brand new book. How am I doing here?
You're doing great.
The path to launch and grow your coaching practice. Welcome, everybody. I tell you what, Ann, this is a 2-year project. Just coming into just bearing fruit here. We are so excited that you guys are all part of it. So thanks for joining us. And wow, what an amazing day have we had today.
Wow. A little fanny fatigue, I must admit, but it's been so worthwhile. The comments that we've gotten from the participants so far are just awesome. Very just affirming that what we set out to do, we've accomplished.
I know.
Yeah. That's so exciting.
We are in the business of launching and growing coaches. That's what we want to do.
That's right.
Find people who are interested and have that calling to coach, which most coaches understand what I mean by that, because it is a calling. And then you get to try to figure out all the entrepreneur, the businessy stuff, which is not innate for most coaches, is it?
Yeah, and we've heard it's been and we've been really confirmed from a lot of the participants that they go out and they get these certifications, but nobody ever tells them how to start their practice. And not just start it, but how to get it going and to generate,
how to find their first client.
Yes, and how to generate revenue, how to make money, because that's really what we ultimately are about. How do we make that money that we can live on and be successful and have that sense of accomplishment of what we've done, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, wow.
Yeah, so we cover a lot of things in the book. We've been going through the book today. We've had guests coming in who have been talking about their experience in coaching and starting their coaching practice and how difficult that it can be. And so that's really why we wrote this, was to be able to give coaches a resource that they could get a foothold in the foundations, because that really, I can speak absolutely from experience in that I didn't have all those gaps filled in. I just wanted to coach, and so coaches come out of their certification oftentimes with jargon, coach, internal coach language that they then try to use on their clients. And the client's like, what does that have to do? Right. And so they don't really care about your certifications until they know you care about them. Yeah.
So we've gone through, there are 5 different groups, sections within the book: identify, plan, launch, and grow. And we are,
we're tired. Identify, create, plan, launch, and grow. Yeah. So we help you identify everything you've got in your toolbox already. The things that you may not even notice that you have, that you may have never thought through exactly who your support team is, or exactly what your experiences bring to your coaching practice. Because, you didn't just wake up one day as a coach, you had a life before then. And so we help you gather all of that information and identify things that you then can use to create the business of your dreams. And that begins by creating a product. Let's talk a little bit.
Which could be either working in workshops and working in groups or working in individuals. But it's not the one-off consulting, it's the individual coaching package. It's all about selling more than one. It's all about getting out in front of them with solutions that are going to help your ideal client see, hear, and want to work with you, because you offer them solutions to their challenges.
Right, and they can hear it because you're using the right
Mhm.
language for them. You keep your whole focus on them,
Right,
and we show you how to do it. We actually give you a formula in which to create that for yourself. Use the right language,
right,
and
right.
so we also go through pricing your coaching
Mhm.
package or your
Yep,
workshop, and some strategies on exactly how to figure that out and what you're going to charge. And then we cover the launch. Like, how do we get you your first client? Many of you are starting with
right.
no one, right? So how do we get you out and about with the right language to use so that you can go and find the people that are waiting for you? And they're
Right.
waiting for you.
That's right.
And
They
then
are, they're out
mhm,
there. So in the last one where we're at is how do you grow that business? You've
mhm,
done all these things, but there's still work to be done. And I think the word here, the optimum word here is how do you sell your services? How do you sell yourself to the right people that they're going to want to buy from you? And it's funny, Rhonda. I think back to when you and I first started writing this book, and we talked about how everybody jumps to the marketing. They jump, I got to have a logo, got to have a brand, I got to market without even having anything to know who your client is, much less what you're going to market. So
mhm,
we deliberately pushed all this to the end. And we said the important stuff is who are you and what's your product and who are you
right.
going after? And then let's talk about the things that everybody thinks are the fun stuff, but they're important, but you got to get through the
Mhm.
other stuff before you can get to this, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think I'm probably on about my fourth or fifth website. So we hopefully will stop you from making some of the mistakes that brand new coaches make because they don't know any better. And
Right,
so
right.
after working with hundreds of coaches, Ann and I met through a startup that was working
Mhm.
with coaches, and we've worked with hundreds of them, and we know what the common considerations are, what the problems, their challenges, and we
Right.
address them in this little book. Oop, upside down and backwards. We address them in the book. I put the link down in the bottom and in the chat box, and Amazon has it on sale for $1.99. Can you believe it?
Oh my god.
The digital
Yeah,
copy.
yeah,
So go grab that now. And if coaching is not for you, maybe you know a coach who needs this, or know
yeah,
a coach who wants to be know someone who wants to be a coach, and maybe set them up in a nice career, a new career.
yeah.
So I tell you what. Oh, go
Rhonda,
ahead.
can I interject?
Mhm.
Following what we talk about in the book, we'd love for you not just to go and buy it, but once you've looked at it, is write a review, write a
Yes.
testimonial. Tell us what you think, because that's so important in any business. And it's especially important to coaches because people are out there reading what other people have said about
Mhm.
you. So
They are.
don't
They
forget to do
are.
that. Yeah.
Well, we have another guest. We've been interviewing people all day about their experience either with the material or their experience as starting a coaching practice. And we have a special guest with us now who is at that beginning point, right, Anne?
Yes, yes, that is. And so we're bringing in Lisa Herbster. Yes, last name. There is a familiar or family relationship here, but
Mhm.
Lisa has intimate knowledge of this book. She actually was our editor and and just, we couldn't have be where we are today without her and helping us get this onto a very friendly face and friendly language so that people could follow. But Lisa is a coach and a consultant. She's got years of experience in the academic world and teaching in colleges. And she's worked with people, helping coaching people on finding the perfect job. So let's bring her in. We wanted to check in with her and get some insight. She's just starting her business and thinking about it. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good to see you, Lisa. And
Good to
Yeah,
see you too.
when we started working with you, we know what I knew intuitively is that teachers and coaches have a lot in common.
Yes.
hmm
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Well, I
just a
mean,
little different, maybe.
teachers and coaches are the same thing. We just generally call coaches in education those that deal with physical education. You know, we
Yeah,
don't call
possibly.
teachers in the classroom coaches, but they're the same thing. You're right.
They are. They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
That's really right. So you probably have the same approach to business as a coach, as most new coaches, which is you're lost.
Right. Right. Yeah. We probably do. I mean, I've never thought of myself from the perspective of coaching prior to starting with you guys. And I'm still very new in that. So I can't always change that hat from having been a teacher for 35 years. So, but absolutely. Yeah. I just want to say congratulations to both of you, because I was there early on when, actually Ann and I are related. It's my sister-in-law. And we started talking when you were first thinking about this, and you were just asking me some questions like related to how you edit. And so I have seen this book just blossom from the pages you originally gave me to what you've transformed it into now. And it is just spectacular. And the insights I have gotten all along the way from everything I've read have just, you started in one way and I got certain insights and you just grew from there. And that is what has helped me. So currently I'm not totally focusing on my own personal business, but I've gotten much more involved in a nonprofit organization locally and trying to bring them back up. They really had been in this area for a long time, and nobody's really done anything to make sure people know about us. So we need to come back into the community. We need people to know about us. So we have to, again, I've used so much of your information about things like who is our actual clientele and how do we reach out to them? Where do we reach out to them? What do we do online? What do we do face to face? So there's been a lot that I have been able to gather from this. I keep touting your book to everybody that I see, and I'm talking about it. So so it's really it offers so much. And coming from education, and I come from the humanities side. So I was originally looking at it as an English teacher, but the business information, while much of it is very common sense, but it's just not things you would think about. So even having been in the field for so long, there's a part of my brain that sort of says, well, you know how to do that. It's okay. This is how, but when you apply it to business, it's very different. And it's all about the language you use and how you get that message across to everybody. So, and you guys have those workbook exercises are just fantastic for that, because you yourself are writing all that information. And then you go back and you observe what you yourself were thinking. And how better can it get? Because that's the whole purpose of it, right? That's exactly what you're teaching them. You're teaching the coaches how to analyze their own skills, their own strengths, their own weaknesses. And that's exactly what the workbook exercises do. It's been
wonderful.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's been really, really fantastic. So in relation to the growing, the one thing that I'd like to add there. So I don't, currently I'm not really growing my business, my own business personally yet, but that's okay. I'm kind of on hold. Having been in education, I sort of needed to step into this gradually. So doing a nonprofit right now, I sort of feel like it's not all about me. I'm doing for others in something that's already well established. And just really fell through the cracks, and now we're trying to bring it back together. So, it's
Well, one of the things that you bring up that I think is so interesting and such a great crossover is this nonprofit that you're working with has lost sight of who their ideal client is.
Exactly.
And you know what? Coaches, hello, this happens in coaching. Because I can promise you that if you're starting out new as a brand new coach right now, whoever you're called to coach right now is probably going to change. Coaches have this habit of falling in love with our client. I don't mean that in a literal sense, but I mean, like, we just love helping people. And when someone has a profound transformative experience, which is what we want them to have, we often think, oh my gosh, now I need to change my direction because I had such a great experience with that client. And then they're rewriting, and then they're, and so we are hoping that they will have the right clients up front at first. And always, as they're hunting, I use that term in a positive sense, as they're looking to grow and expand their business, that they're very clear on who they are serving.
Right.
And I can't even tell you how many times I have asked a coach, so who's your ideal client? Oh, everybody.
Well, and I think often what happens, this is an organization that's been around for a very, very long time. And so you have ebbs and peaks and the whole thing. And you get to a point, we've had a lot of the same general membership for quite a long time, and you get very set in your ways, and then you become way too narrowly focused on things and think to yourself, oh, it's only this particular clientele, when if you open your eyes, you're like, oh, wait, there's that group, and then there's that group, and then we can include this type of. So, but you just, you need a little shakeup every once in a while.
Yeah,
sure.
And you need to go back and do those workbook exercises every once in a while, because, a year from now, the answers that you put for something that you're looking for in your ideal client are going to be maybe completely different, or you may reinforce what you had originally written. Mm-hmm. So,
I'm pretty sure they're going to be different.
Yeah. Yes, I would think so too. I'm just putting that in there.
But you bring up something that's really important, is that this is not a once and done. It's not like you pick up the book, read it, and go, okay, good, put it on the bookshelf. This is something we want people to keep coming back at, refreshing, redoing.
This is your Bible. This is what
is
what you use. All the education books I have on my shelf. This is what all business coaches need to have on their shelf.
Well, because we provide an opportunity through worksheets. So there's 53 worksheets in the book that allow a coach to slow down, fill in the blanks with what they know, and instantly see what gaps they have.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have them. I just am pretty sure,
And the nice thing, just going back to what we were saying about it's not a once and done. They can then go back in 6 months and do that again and compare the two and see where they filled in, or where they're still falling through, or where, whatever it happens to be. But that's why the exercises are so great, because you can utilize, coming from a teacher where I had to make all my materials so often by myself, being able to just return and, put something on your calendar, time to do a new inventory on what I think my ideal client is or something, and go back to that section of the book and work on and if it's not the ideal client, I'm sorry, I can't remember all 5 of the steps. I know we're right now.
I had trouble with that too.
So, but I mean, there are just so many different areas that people can, it's just a little tweak, but that's what you have to do. It's not a once and done. It's a constantly growing, evolving kind of thing.
Yes. When evergreen means it's never out of date.
Right.
So this is rather than ever, and I did mean it in that sense of never being out of date. And I guess evergreen was probably the wrong term to use for that. It's really more of a repeat. So for example, if you start off and you want to serve this one client that is maybe in your church, and you want to work on help people with their marriages, but you also want to work over here in the corporate environment, in say the medical industry, they speak 2 totally different languages.
Right.
You're addressing completely different groups of people who don't even think, like when sometimes, okay, so Anne already knows this. Sometimes she talks in language that is really business oriented. And I'm a coach. That's what I do best. The business stuff, I mean, I break in hives. I'm like, Anne, I got a hive coming on. But that allows me to be, I know who I am and I know who I'm not, and both are okay. But it really is where, this part of it, coaches find so difficult.
Yeah.
And they get overwhelmed really easily. And whereas 53 worksheets sounds like a whole lot, and it is, it's done very simply and systematically. And wouldn't you agree?
Oh, totally. And they're basic, simple questions that I think are going to cause people to pause and stop and think about their answers. And, one of the things I want to go back, what we've been talking about is that you're not doing this alone. And I love Debbie. This book is an alternative to highs. Thank you, Debbie.
So
Oh my
listen,
goodness.
if you get hives when you talk about business, then this book is for you.
Yeah.
And Amazon has made it really simple today for $1.99 and your own journal. You can do it on your computer very, like inexpensively. And we don't know why they do that. We had nothing to do with that, by the way, but we're taking advantage of it today.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it is an alternative to hives. Thank you.
Yeah.
Debbie.
And I think, Lisa, one of the things you've talked about is having your client understand who's their ideal client. And then you can able to go in, as we said in the book, create the right messaging that's going to focus on what they want to get out of it, not what you want to get out of it. Because it's all about the client. We need to go back to who that client is.
So I'm sorry.
No, guys.
In addition to the client, as a person utilizing your information, as the coach, having come from other backgrounds, I've actually, a large part of what I've had to do is to change my own mindset of what I am capable of. Because as a teacher, Rhonda, you were saying the 53 worksheets, which is a lot of worksheets. Well, as a teacher, my first thing was, well, that's just one a week for the whole year, but
you're ready to get started on your worksheets.
Yeah. But the good thing is that the way you have it set up, the thing that I think many people need to remind themselves is it's not all right now, got to rush and this is going to take time. And you have to give yourself time to write information down and leave it, and then come back 3 hours later, a week later, and look at it again and refresh yourself and think about, is that where you really are? Is that how you really feel? So, I mean, what I would like to just say is, as the coach myself, I've had to learn to slow down my thought process, because I'm thinking classroom, do this, do that. And I can't follow that pace yet, because there's too much background research I have to do in my own coaching practice. And using your worksheets has been helpful, because I now have my whole organization together of, I've gone through some of the worksheets, and this is what I've created, and this is what I'm doing. So it's just, I just wanted to put out there, it's an ongoing thing.
It is.
It's ongoing.
It is. Yeah. And the one thing I want to just say about that is that as a teacher with a lot of experience, here you are coming at looking, and you're able to see how that experience can relate to what you want to do next.
Right.
And that's where I think a lot of coaches miss, is they fall in love with coaching, usually because they have a coaching experience. Then they decide they want to be a coach. Then they go get certified, and then they come back and they forget about all of their life and their experience that they're bringing into the table or into that process. And we really help you capture all of that, because you have crossover. Right. Just like you'll have crossover in different industries. Just a quick story. Once I had a client who, he felt like he only worked with chiropractors. And then when we really analyzed where he was and what was it about chiropractors, we recognized that any medical office, any small independent medical office he could work with. So he became a medical, let's see, I can't remember exactly, but he was a medical industry coach, office coach. Like, he would coach your staff for better efficiency and so forth. So he was limiting himself, which we do want you to narrow. Right. You've got to narrow first before you can expand.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think you're also sharing the power of working with other people. So again, it goes back to not being alone, to have other people that you can call on, to reach out with and help you figure out what my next step is. Talk through it, share ideas, share suggestions. What do you think of this language? What do you think of that? The other thing you can do is find somebody who's let's say in need, has a specific need, and ask them what they think of language or messaging or whatever your package or whatever it is you're putting together. So,
Well, and that's actually how I ended up doing the stuff that I'm doing right now. Was, I was already a little bit involved, and then somebody asked me a question, and I said, oh, well, we should consider fundraising in this way. No, okay, well, now what's our ideal client? Who's our target group? And so it just grew, it grew from there. I mean, this is so appropriate for so many different avenues in life. So, I mean, here I'm not specifically an individual coach at this particular time, but the purposes of the book work beautifully for what I'm doing right now also.
So. They do. And that's because it's about the business.
Yeah.
It is. Exactly.
Businessy things, which coaches tend to, either avoid or not understand or whatever, because their genius is in coaching.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I love what Cynthia said out there. She says, this book is also an alternative to wandering around, getting nowhere. Thank you.
Very good.
Wandering around, getting nowhere with hives.
Yeah.
Got to alleviate that.
That's right. Wow, Lisa, so glad that you came in and shared your experience with us so that we could really kind of hear from someone who is very familiar with the material and also recognizes your own ability as you choose to move forward in creating your own coaching practice. So you're already a coach. We already know that.
Well, thank you.
It's just a matter of whether or not and when you need to get paid and need to organize.
Right.
And that's the way it is for a lot of us,
Yeah. And thank you both so much for letting me be part of so much of the process of this, because it really, it's just so exciting to see it come to fruition. Because I think, Anne, you and I were just having drinks one night when it was a little germ of an idea. And it's just grown from there. So congratulations. It's really wonderful. I'm very proud of both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you
for all your help.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Lisa. And we'll catch up with you later.
Okay, I'll keep posting about it and let everybody know about it.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay. Wow, how fun. I feel like she's just about ready to go.
She is. And you know, she gets it. And I love that she's showing the versatility of the information. That is that's ideal. That's what we wanted. That it's people in all phases of where they are and what they're doing, which is just so exciting. So
yes, but this is a businessy book, business and marketing book written for new coaches. So if that's you, or if you know someone who it would be perfect for, it is on sale now today, this very moment, for $1.99, and you can grab it at Amazon, and we would love to help you in any way. We're so grateful that you would join us. And so let me
Rhonda, don't forget to leave a review, because we love those reviews and we need them. They're really important. As we've said in the book, you want those reviews and testimonials. Any chance you get, you need to ask for that. So we're asking.
Thank you, Anne, for reminding reminding me. All right, y'all, we will see you. Thank you so much for joining us today. When I don't know how long it's going to be at $1.99, because we don't control that. That's an Amazon thing. We don't even know. We literally listen, y'all are getting like a deal, because we priced the digital at $5.99 and had been warning people we would take their $6. And then we woke up the other day and Amazon reduced the price for, we don't know why, but we're grateful that they did, because that means more people can buy the book. So
take advantage of it.
That's right. That's right. All right. With that, we will let y'all go. We may or may not be live again. We will certainly be here tomorrow, because we have more exciting news. We have a challenge coming up.
That's right.
We're going to be telling you about the details on the morrow. So with that, we'll let you go. Thank you for joining us, and we're grateful.
And thanks for your support. Bye.